we're gonna plant a pawpaw, and I dug the hole yesterday. I put water crystals in there. Now, water crystals, the reason why I use water crystals is pawpaw trees are not drought tolerant. They aren't, and water crystals, you're not gonna be overwatering, you're not gonna be underwatering. Sounds like I'm doing a commercial, but if you're gonna plant a pawpaw, I highly recommend that you use these. Now, one thing that I want to say is that these have no nitrogen in it. You can buy them where they do have some fertilizer in it, but I always buy the plain ones. So if you're using these, you don't want to use a lot of fertilizer with your young pawpaw anyway. You know, make sure it's established. But in this case, there's so much volume of a growing, you know, medium, you have to add a little bit of nitrogen. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't add a lot, you know, but there's nothing in that. Now, what we're planting here is a Pennsylvania Golden, and it is one of the earliest to ripen, I believe, and it does good in colder climates. Now, I'm in New York State, and I've heard that that you could grow this thing in British Columbia, and grows good in Michigan, all the colder states. So we got the hole dug, and if you see, I also made shade for it. And the reason why you make shade for it is these are understory trees. In the wild, they would be shaded by the larger trees. So if you don't shade them, they can drop out real easy. So I recommend shading them at least for the first year, you know, sometimes the second year, depending on how the pawpaw tree is doing. So pretty much, you know, dig a big hole, make sure it's deep enough, get your water crystals in there. Now we're gonna put the plant in there. We're gonna mix in a little dirt. Move an area. Okay, now that it's planted, now we're going to give it some water. Get a small amount of fertilizer. I mean, like really small. Not much at all. Right, that'll do it. Now, the one thing that's very important is that you keep all the weeds away from the base. You know, make sure that I'm going to weed it out even more than this, and you know, if any weeds start, just remove them. Now, notice the partition and the roof I made to keep the shade off of the young pawpaw. You know, I make these things out of whatever's lying around, and this time I used metal flashing and a little bit of glue. You know, because remember, if it's real windy and the thing can get blown down, it might hurt the pawpaw.